Hello and welcome to Waylander's Wandering, where after the marathon that was the Oberon paint, we will now be attempting something that hopefully is a little quicker, which will be the Droidekas, which are the large combat droids from Star Wars Legion, and these ones feature in the Clone Wars starter set, as the other things I've done do. And you get 4 of these little babies in here. So the first thing we're going to do is take our very large Army Painter Masterclass dry brush, get it wet, and then using the paper towel, get the bulk of that water off so that we get cool on the back of the hand, but not wet. Okay, now to start with Citadel Colour Lead Belcher, I'm going to blob a little on the texture palette here, work it into the bristles, and because of the effect we want with this, we're going to keep it quite wet. We're going to go for an overbrush, so taking the miniature, going over everything, as an overbrush kind of implies. I'm going to very quickly get these boys covered. Keeping your brush wet and a reasonable amount of paint on, not too much of course, so that it only hits the highlights and the edges, not the crevices, will give you a nice, smooth, even coat of the entire miniature like so. And I'll quickly show you on one of the sort of unrolled ones as well, so that we can see that the same technique works on everything. With this one we need to be slightly more careful because it's well, it is a little delicate, like so. Okay, we'll do the other one and glue that one on off camera, where you'll never know what happened to him, possibly, or at the very least you won't be able to tell which one fell to bits and which one's this one. So again, very quickly, it's a very fast technique. This would be more of an overbrush than a dry brush, and I will get this one done and the other 2, and I will bring you guys back in for the next stage. Okay, now that we've covered everything in an overbrush of Lead Belcher, it is time to take a Citadel Colour Iron Breaker, which is a slightly, I know, more silvery silver. Without bothering to clean the brush, we will get some on the palette, work it into the bristles, just it on the back of the hand, but it's a little bit heavy, so we'll try and get some more off. There we go. And now, coming in with a lighter touch, we will begin to put what will be our first highlight all over the miniature. This being a relatively quick process, we will finish that one and quite simply move on to the next. Try not to throw them on the floor. There we go, and another. A little bit more paint. Work it in. Test it on the hand, too much. And the reason we're doing it on the palette here is because this is waterproof, and this will just suck all the moisture out of the paint, which will leave you with that horrible, nasty, powdery effect that you get so often dry brushing. So again, quickly run across, and this is more of a traditional dry brush than the overbrush previously was. Once you're happy with how that looks, on to the final one. well, gosh, and that is pretty much as quick as it gets. And I'll finish faffing about with these and I'll get back to you in a moment. Now we move on to the final dry brushing stage, which is Stormhold Silver. We only need a touch of this, so about that much. Again, work it all around the bristles, work it really in. Use an area of the palette to get the bulk off, and you're happy with that. Take your miniature, find a place, and again, very lightly this time, just trying to hit the very surface areas. Some stipple a little on these panels, and just dry brush these in. And well, I'm sure you can see this is pretty much done in real time, so we are almost at a stage where we can be happy with these. Go, and then the last guy. There we go. There we are, all silvered up. Because we're doing it in real time, let's get on to the final stage, which is taking Citadel colour, contrast the Gorgrunter fur over what would be the carapaces. And I think we can use this straight from the pot. Try it on a bit where bottom here to see what it looks like. And now see, and that gives us the nice kind of bronze effect that we see on the Droidekas in the movies and Clone Wars TV show. And do the eye stalks. So as you can see, unlike normally when I would be doing contrast paints, I'm putting this one on relatively thinly so that the metallic underneath shows through. That's one. Three, and the last one is 4. There we have all 4 Droidekas to a tabletop standard in no time at all. All that remains is to slap some paint on the bases, which I will do to match the rest of my Star Wars miniatures, and I will bring you back in for a quick look at that when they're all finished and we've seen how this dries. There are a couple of areas here and here where it's pulled a bit that I will try and fix off camera, but other than that, these are all done. Lickety split, boys and girls, lickety split. Well, there we have it. It's been almost a month since I recorded the first actual painting clips of these Droidekas. where I left off with just the basing to do. As you can see now, I've completed the basing, and looking back on these initial clips, it would seem that from start to finish, obviously from after assembly and undercoating, the whole painting process for these 4 miniatures was 10 of your Earth minutes. 10 minutes, 4 miniatures, to what I think is a nice tabletop standard. Let's move this slightly so you can see the actual bases. There we go. It hold itself, as they say. Oh, there we go. And as we can see, this is a nice finish. 4 miniatures, 10 minutes, bish bosh. In fact, I would, without a shadow of a doubt, it has taken 4 times longer to do the basing, because these crackle paints take about an hour to dry. And yeah, I think they're lovely. And if you're wondering what the grooves are in the base and the chips out of the front and back, these are a thing that Fantasy Flight games do for firing arcs and defensive hit arcs. So you've got front, rear, left and right sides clearly defined on the base, so no argument. Other gaming companies, take note. This is really useful. Anyway, 10 minutes, 4 Droidekas. Thank you for staying to the end. Thank you for watching this. I've been Waylander. You've been fantastic. I love all your faces. And goodbye.